Attention. Whatever you're wearing right now, well, Mack Weldon is better.
Oh, Matt, let me tell you about Mack Weldon. It's a man's essential brand. I guess men's essentials is what it is, but it's also an essential brand.
It's for the single man and the plurality of men in general.
Oh, it's a brand that believes in smart design, premium fabrics, and simple shopping.
I've shopped on there countless times. Always. It has been with great ease and satisfaction.
It's a very easy website to navigate with great pictures, too. And you're also, the sizing chart I find to be one of the more accurate sizing charts.
Ooh, and if you're a Bond fan, which I presume you are, they have a line of Vesper polos that model the Bond polo collection.
Oh, guys, they are really the greatest thing going. I am currently enjoying the silver underwear. They also make shirts, and they're naturally antimicrobial. That means they eliminate odor, guys. They whisk it away.
They want you to be comfortable. So if you don't like your first pair, you can keep it, soils and all, and they will still refund you. No questions asked.
Oh, I guess the best thing for people to do right now who are listening to this James Bond podcast and want to just be wearing the finest fabrics known to man, even under their clothes, is just go to MackWeldon.com and get 20% off. All you have to do is use the promo code BONDING. That's MackWeldon.com and get 20% off. What's that promo code, Matt?
Bonding. Hey, let us tell you about an amazing podcast from Stitcher called Dear Franklin Jones.
Growing up, reporter Jonathan Hirsch's family was a little different.
They followed a controversial spiritual leader named Franklin Jones.
To Jonathan's parents, Franklin Jones was a god, but to people outside the group, he was a cult leader.
Can he not be both? Join Jonathan on a journey to find out what really happened and whether the group really did become a cult.
You can binge all the episodes now before the season finale airs this week. You can listen to all 7 episodes of Dear Franklin Jones in Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Franklin Jones commands you.
Matt and Matt. James Bonding Podcast.
Hello, listeners. This is a very special episode of James Bonding because we're doing a crossover episodes with past guest favorites Maria Blasucci and Amanda Lund. This is their show called The Big Ones, and they had us on to discuss a huge moral dilemma of the James Bond universe, Vesper Lynd's dilemma from Casino Royale. So, it will be here in this feed. Also, go to their feed at The Big Ones, subscribe, and enjoy.
Yeah, and you'll get it without this intro.
So 2 versions.
It's really fascinating how we did this. I'm really impressed by all of us.
Enjoy.
Hi, this is The Big Ones. And I'm Maria Blasucci.
And I'm Amanda Lund.
Each week, we discuss new moral dilemmas ranging from historical decisions to relationship problems to brain-busting moral questions.
The questions can be confusing, but they are always fun to talk about because they force you to look deep, deep, deep within inside yourself. Will you like what you see, Matt Gourley and Matt Mira?
With inside yourself? I love it.
And we have to say, just for our James Bonding listeners who are new to The Big Ones, Maria messes up the intro every time, so it's a real...
But I think I did it pretty well this time.
I think so too, but I don't know how well you sold it to people who are just listening to the podcast.
It sounded like I was trying to get... each week we discuss new moral dilemmas ranging from relationship problems. No, see, it's too much.
Can you do it and sell it to get people's attention?
Hi.
That had a shoulder shrug.
Oh, hey. Welcome to The Big Ones. Each week, we discuss new ethical questions, ranging from historical dilemmas to relationship problems, even a brain-busting moral question.
Wow, it's so casual.
You're doing this intro like you're the bartender in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Eddie Valiant.
Well, I mean, I'm selling it, but who cares? That's it's come on in and have a seat, but no pressure.
This is casual Saturday morning podcast.
Yeah, that's so true. Well, thanks, boys, for being on.
Thanks for having us.
We're super glad to be here.
Thanks to all the James Bonding listeners that are listening in. We have been James Bonding fans since the beginning of time, and we've been listeners and guests. On James Bonding, and we're just so happy to have you guys now we've turned the table literally, and we're sitting around a table whose legs are straight up in the ceiling. So thanks.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's nice for us to come on your podcast for once, and I hope this crossover is the first of many to come.
It's really exciting for Matt and I to talk about morality.
Especially through the filter of James Bond.
Well, because James Bond seems to be a character that has little actual morals.
Yeah.
I think that's true. And I feel like, but there is a line even for him that he will not cross.
And that line is what? I have yet
Killing
to see it.
children.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
There it
he
is.
won't kill kids.
Well, it depends
he
on the
doesn't kill
era
good
of
people.
films,
Does he
too.
ever kill good people?
No.
There is collateral damage, of course, that happens, but I
Yeah.
think he kills naughty people.
He's the perfect guy for the job. He's the perfect guy for the job because he knows the task at hand. He sees black and white. Like, it's good and it's bad. If it's bad, he doesn't look at the nuance and he doesn't go like, well, but maybe they had a rough childhood. He just goes, they're bad right now. They got to die.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's the perfect guy for the job. You know, Amanda, you'd like him because he doesn't try to find loopholes.
Oh, I like that. I really do. And he's also not a slave to his government. So he's not going to do something just because Dame Judi Dench tells him to.
Right.
You know, and I do appreciate someone who's an independent thinker because I think, being a follower can be bad for morality.
I love the thought that maybe Dame Judi Dench and not M is the one kind of like saying, hey, Bond, can you get this done for
I
me?
don't know if you know this, but once you're knighted as an actor or actress in the United Kingdom, you are actually given a secret agent at your disposal.
Wouldn't that
you
be
then
nice?
like Sir Patrick Stewart right now probably has some guy out doing some errand for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so nice.
But because he can use the guy as a spy or just as a personal assistant.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
We need something like that in the States.
Yeah, we need a feudal system.
Yeah.
There's not enough of a class delineation here in the United States.
No, yeah,
I think we need
I
to
haven't
really give us all
Yeah.
titles.
What would they call us if they
Republicans.
or just I mean
I guess
I'd
senator.
Senator Maria Blasucci.
Well, we like to start each episode by asking our guests if they have any sort of little big one, some sort of small moral dilemma they've been dealing with in their own lives. But since this is a special James Bond episode, why don't we talk about one of James Bond's little dilemmas?
Well, this is literally a little dilemma.
Okay, interesting.
Okay.
And in the film, The Man with the Golden Gun, he kills the main villain, and his henchman still survives at the last part of the film and attacks him and tries to kill Bond. But his henchman is Hervé Villachez, who's Knick-Knack, and he's a little person. Mm-hmm. So Bond has probably every right, and in every other movie, he would kill the henchman. Mm-hmm. And that would be the last scene of the film. It often ends with the henchman getting killed after the main villain. He doesn't kill Hervé Villachez, presumably because he's we sympathize with him because he's a little person or something. I don't know. But he puts him in a suitcase and then puts him in a net up in the crow's nest of this Chinese junk ship. So should he be able to kill Hervé Villachez, or does it look weird for him to kill a little person?
Wow, what looks weirder, putting him in a suitcase?
I think that's public humiliation, which in some ways is worse. This is interesting because it's like, is it okay because Bond kills women and stuff?
He has on occasion. And is it more, in a way, bigoted for him not to kill him?
That's interesting. Well, let me ask you
Sure.
this. Where's that junk boat going, and will he ever get out of that suitcase?
He's out of the suitcase.
Yeah, so
he
he's-
just uses the suitcase to get him up in the crow's nest.
Yeah, so he used the suitcase essentially, and off screen at some point, James Bond climbs the crow's nest holding a suitcase with a human being in it. Presumably a struggling human being who's probably knocking the balance of the suitcase off. So
Yes.
it's very dangerous. And James Bond's climbing the crow's nest of this ship. It's got a tall mast, and he puts. He probably just opens up the suitcase and dumps Harvey Villachez
Yeah, none of
into
this
the
is
net.
on camera.
Oh, but you think he does that? You don't think he just puts the suitcase up there?
No, he doesn't. We see Hervé out of the suitcase, trapped in the crow's nest, where he, presumably, if the ship is going to be at sea for a couple of days before it reaches mainland, he may dehydrate. He obviously doesn't have access to food or water, and I think it would be a slow, painful, and humiliating death.
Yeah.
where a
Let's
very
see.
angry Frenchman is yelling down at you constantly.
I'm bringing it up on the video here. So if you get a chance, it's probably on YouTube, the final scene of Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah, so now
But it's
that,
just a long
that
crane
ship
shot.
is setting sail for where we know not.
Okay, there he is.
Yeah, that's not so bad because he's getting fresh air, and someone will let him cut him down.
He looks relaxed. He looks like he's finally got a moment to himself because I don't know what he did throughout the rest of the movie.
Yeah,
but
sure.
It's kind of
He
like
created mayhem and tried to kill Bond multiple times.
he did. Okay, so this is, to me, when you really boil down this moral dilemma, it's that, is it ethical, even if someone is evil, is it ethical to kill someone when they're not your physical match?
Right. Yeah, that's a better way to put it.
I mean, it's one thing if, what's his character's name?
Knick-knack.
Knick-knack had a gun,
Yeah.
and Bond wanted to, shot him before he got shot. But is it ethical if they were just going mano-y-mano, even though this guy's naughty?
Knick-knack does have a
Knick-knack
series
has a
of
tiny
weapons.
knife, right?
He's throwing. Yeah, he does have a knife in his teeth, but he's throwing wine bottle
bottle, yeah.
and champagne
oh,
bottles.
so he's a
Adam.
thrower.
I think it's...
Oh, he's a thrower.
I think it's immoral for Bond to put Knick-knack in the net because I think out of respect for Knick-knack as a villain, Bond should have killed him. Because this is making fun of him and publicly humiliating
I don't
him.
understand. How did he get out? When did he get put in the suitcase and when did he get out of the suitcase?
We don't see it.
You
It
don't
happens
see it.
off screen.
So it ends with him getting him in the suitcase, and then it just cuts to them in bed, like the day has been won, and then it's a long crane shot that shows Knick-knack in the crow's nest, and then it like pans
But we don't
out.
see him put him in the crow's
No.
nest.
So you think Knick-knack may have put himself in the crow's
Yes.
nest?
No,
Well, what? I
he's
don't
imprisoned
understand.
up there. He's in like a little wicker cage.
But I don't understand how you're thinking, Matt. You
Yeah.
said that you think that he took the luggage up to the crow's nest,
No.
dumped him out.
No,
You
he-
don't think that?
No, he put him in the wicker cage and then like hoisted him
No.
up.
Bond doesn't do that
No.
stuff. He's too busy. I know what Bond did. He had him in the suitcase. He gave him to someone working on the ship.
No, there's no one else
No,
on the ship.
It's only
Well, then Knick-knack got out, and I'm telling you, he is taking time for himself
No
up there.
way.
Yes, he
No
is.
way.
Yes, he is.
No,
So do you think it's more of
he
like
would try to kill Bond again if he got free.
Oh my gosh, I know what's going on. So who knows where that ship is going to end up? Knick-knack put himself out there to make it seem like he's been captured and he's a victim.
So that one of you guys, you, Matt Gourley, are going to go get him because you're going to feel bad.
He's already been captured. And if he gets out again, he's going to try to kill Bond again. He's really pissed because Bond killed his master and blew up the island that he was supposed to inherit.
So does Knick-knack have mental capabilities?
Yeah.
He's fine mentally. Okay, then he
as
should have
fine
been
as the
killed.
henchman
I
can
don't
be.
get it. I don't get it. What do we see Bond do? We see him put him in a suitcase.
Yeah.
But then there's passage of time. Like
Okay,
in-
but what's the last shot? What's the last shot we
He's
see
in
of
a-
last
Bond?
he's in a
time we
wicker
see Bond
cage.
and him
No,
together.
yeah, Bond and him together.
Is him closing the
Yes.
suitcase.
And then that's it. And next thing we see,
Yep, him in the crow's nest. Yep.
I'm telling you. Well, who's driving the ship?
No, there's a little thing where the woman Bond's with goes, "Oh, you're not going to throw him overboard." And so you're kind of like,
Okay.
is he going to kill him? And then it cuts like almost like the reveal that he's put him in this wicker cage.
Okay, well,
But I think there's actually an element of the time in this because in the 70s it would have seemed more humanitarian to not kill him, but these days it is a little like what's the word, like
Everyone's free
ableist,
game.
yeah, to say like we have to. I think maybe, I don't know, but maybe
I mean,
would some little people
he's
find
as much of a threat as
Matt,
any other henchman.
would some little people take offense that he wasn't killed like any other
I mean,
person?
maybe
you know?
maybe I would because I'd be like, hey, why am I the exception? Yeah, that would be weird to me. I guess that I would be the only one, and then instead of being killed, just put up like a flag waving in the wind.
But he also Bond never executes people. Like, well, rarely does he
yes.
execute people.
Yeah. But they're usually his counterparts.
Yes, and it's usually when Bond does kill a henchman, it's always, I think, in the act of a fight.
Right.
And they weren't fighting when he
So
put him
the
in the
fight is
suitcase.
won.
Yes, they were fighting.
They were fighting, but the fight was won when he put him in the
That's true.
when he put him in the suitcase with no way to
that's
get out.
odd.
So he's not going to like fire his gun into the suitcase.
He
You know what
should
I
have
mean?
just
True.
killed
Right.
him. Bond should have never put him in a suitcase because there's other ways to overtake him that aren't like playing to
humiliating.
his little like.
But he also uses a suitcase as a shield against the wine. and then he just kind of closes in on him and then like
Okay, well
captures
that's
him.
all fine, but then throw it overboard.
So drown him.
Yeah,
I don't think that's right.
but he's trying to kill him. I'm saying why put him in the suitcase and then unzip the suitcase up?
Right.
First of all, I don't know how Bond got up that high with
I
a
think
suitcase.
he hoisted him.
We'll never know.
That's so crazy.
But that's what a rigging with the sails, like they have all the pulleys and all
Then
that.
how do you get out of the suitcase?
He let him out of the suitcase,
Well-
put him in the wicker cage, and hoisted him up.
See,
probably.
that seems crazy. That seems rude. That seems like really awful to me. That Bond thought, here's what I'm going to do. Now that I got him in this suitcase, let's see what else I can do to him. Oh, here's a
Yeah, because
basket.
you could have just left him in the suitcase in wine storage,
But
like
then-
in a cool dark place.
But then
on
he
the ship,
doesn't
and
have
it'd be fine.
air. Like this, actually, you may be right,
You
Amanda.
have
He has
air in a
fresh air.
suitcase?
I've honestly, looking at that video of him in that, whatever he's in, that net, looking out onto the ocean, I've never seen anyone look so peaceful in my life. I mean it. So I don't know. But I think you need to fight. So, to defend yourself is one thing. To humiliate someone is another.
The interesting thing is that there are actual like precedents for this. So in other Bond movies, at the very end, after the villain's killed, the henchmen show up literally on boats, like in Diamonds Are Forever, on a train in Live and Let Die, and every time Bond kills the henchmen.
Yeah,
Henchmen's.
he should have killed him. I think. Amanda.
I think it's much more respectful, and I'm thinking more kind of behind the scenes now, to give someone a triumphant death scene. If
Yeah.
you're a great, and I feel this way for some of the female villains as well. It's kind of like you earn a death scene when you're playing a henchman.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you shouldn't just be locked away and then put up.
But would
they
you
also-
watch this and it would feel weird to see Nick Nack kill? That's the other thing. Even though he's a bad guy, he's lovable.
Well, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, if you want to have Nick Nack die, he should be hoisted by his own petard. Like he should be shooting Bond, but accidentally hit a helium tank he's next to
Yes.
and blow himself up accidentally.
Or
That's-
that he shoots something, he gets
Oh, no.
hoisted up, and then he just has to stay up there, and it was his own doing, and he went, "Oh, look what I did."
Whoops!
Well, but
I cussed the wrong rope.
what? Throughout the movie, you're saying he's lovable. So is he not like
Well,
other
he's-
henchmen where
he's mischievous and like he's not a huge threat. I
And
mean,
so
he
Bond
does-
knows that, so he doesn't want to kill him. So that's another thing. It's like if Bond can see the good in him, although this
don't think there's any good in him.
okay, well this takes away from what I said at the beginning, where Bond sees black and white. Because now if he sees a little lovability in Nick Nack, then and he goes, "Well, I'm just going to put him in a suitcase."
I wonder. I don't think he sees lovability. Bond is a sporting man, and like you said, Amanda, like I think he realizes he could easily dispatch him, so it's almost not fair.
Yeah, I think once Nick Nack has been disarmed, Bond's not going to kill him at that point.
So why not just put him out to sea with like a ring around him?
I mean, I think it's because that's been done, and the writers were like,
I also think that's worse, right?
yeah,
least when he's
that's
on the
me.
boat.
I guess he's
going
presumably
somewhere.
going to jail. Like they're going to
Yeah.
dock somewhere, and he's going to take him to jail. So I guess actually it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, this is his last bout of freedom, and he's taking in this. He's going to have this memory for the rest of his life when he's behind bars. He's going to have the memory of sailing through the open water at the top of a ship.
Did you call it freedom? He's in a wicker cage.
I've never looked as free as he looked in those moments. I'm not kidding.
But I do think what we're really talking here is like in the rules of combat, is it right to play on your opponent's weaknesses that are
Right.
not like, oh, they're wounded because I stabbed them in the leg. Oh, no, this
Yeah.
person doesn't have a leg. So is it fair for me to, should I then bind my own leg up so we're evenly
It
matched?
goes to that
God.
old saying, all's fair in love and war.
Yes.
You're right, though. That's
But you can't, if someone's trying to kill you, if someone has ill will against you, then you take whatever you have to fight back against them.
Do you?
Well,
Yeah.
if someone attacks you, then I guess it's interesting
Yeah.
because isn't there that story with the Revolutionary War where the British soldiers would go into a field in formation and march at the Minutemen and all that? The American fighters would just hide behind trees and pluck them off. It was the first time like guerrilla warfare really became a
Oh.
thing, and it was like I think the British are like, you're not fighting like men, but then the Americans were going like, well, you're invading our country.
But
Interesting.
then the British were like, it's our country, guys.
And really, it's not your country anyway. It's these guys over here.
Well, that's a whole other big one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think James Bond thought he was doing what was right by hoisting Knick-Knack up the pole. I think that although it was humiliating and did seem to kind of play on, Knick-Knack being small, I do think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I guess maybe if they're taking him to jail, if there's people on the ship that are taking him to jail and that's like his imprisonment until he gets to jail, then I see that being an okay thing of like, well, he's not going to get out of this. So
it's interesting. Whenever he's faced female henchmen, he's killed them.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever have hand-to-hand combat?
Yeah, in GoldenEye, he fights with Xenia Onatopp, and he basically doesn't. What does he do? He like attaches her.
He clips her into a helicopter,
and
he clips her into the
cord.
The cable from the helicopter, and then he shoots down the helicopter.
Oh my god!
So that yanks
she
her
gets
into
yanked
a
away.
Tree. And she's basically killed.
I don't think he means to throw her into a tree.
I'm
it was
sure
a way for them to kind of have a fitting end, but he wasn't totally directly.
She gets squeezed. Her thing is squeezing people to death with her legs. She kills people.
Okay.
With her
Oh my
legs.
god!
Okay. So then he ends up getting her squeezed to death by shooting a helicopter down, and her getting pulled into a tree, up against a tree, and the helicopter squeezes her to death.
And what about Thunderball, which will be the next episode of James Bonding that you guys are on? And he is dancing with the villainous henchwoman, and he's about to be shot, and right at the last minute, he turns her, and she gets shot.
She didn't seem like a henchwoman to me, though. She seemed like just a villain.
Like a legit villain.
Yeah.
She was a co-villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I would say that she was more of a villain than the Eye Patch Man. And honestly, I think we might find something out that maybe she was the one behind the nuclear.
Oh, her plan, you mean?
I'd love to see a movie where you see the ship dock and then Knick-Knack gets out and you see where he goes.
A sequel.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, he's still theoretically out there.
There is talk that
The actor is
stayed on that boat and it landed at Fantasy Island.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, and then he became
Yes.
Ricardo Montalban.
God, I
Yeah.
love that. That's the one fan theory that I think I will
Yeah,
sign
I'll
on
take
to.
that.
Yeah.
That's
my fan
nice
theory.
because
It's no
that
one
makes
else's.
sense. And then because he's reformed when he's in Fantasy Island and he's very and because he's already been a henchman, that's why he can be such a good henchman.
Yes, and he also...
And he's so good at looking out because he was up in that crow's nest that now he can spot planes.
Yeah.
He's also partnering up with someone that looks exactly like Scaramanga, even wearing the same suit.
Correct.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
It's all part of the
That's cool.
the charm of what happened.
Well, I
after
think
that
that's
movie.
great. Well, I think then that all worked out for the best.
So I think we can all agree that James Bond did the right thing.
He
Once
did. Well, there are
again.
levels of right thing, right? He
Yeah.
did. There are subtle levels. Some
did
things
what
are
he
more
felt when
correct than others.
necessary.
And I think this was, given the circumstances, it was the.
The reason we brought this
Thing he
one
could
in
do.
is because this is happening in our real lives. Both of us, Matt and
Yeah,
I,
we,
are experiencing this very same thing.
We've both been
Yeah.
tracked by. It might be the same little person. We don't know. But
Well,
we
you just got
need
to
know
fight them
what
fair.
to
They're
do.
just, we're all human beings.
Correct.
And yes, if someone's coming at you, no matter their size or shape or disability or ability, you have to go at them if they come at you as hard as you can to protect yourself. It is
Crow's
not.
nest
It is not your fault that they came at you.
What if it's someone mentally challenged?
That's different.
Still,
I
if
think.
they're trying to kill you,
but that's when I don't think deadly force
Yeah, I
should be
agree.
used.
Yeah, in any
but
way.
if they're, what if you are, if you're fighting back just to get them off and you kill them?
I guess if it is true self-defense.
Yeah.
Like, what if they
Yeah.
have you down? They're strong and they're about to kill you, like choke you to death.
Then
or
I think
something.
I think Maria's right. You have to
Well,
defend
of course.
yourself.
What are you gonna do? Just sit there and let them do it?
I don't
Morally,
know.
I shouldn't do anything. I know this is from your.
No, you
upbringing.
got to do it. You didn't. You got anything to defend yourself.
This is, but that's a harrowing and sad situation.
Of
This is-
course.
you guys really tackle the big stuff.
yeah, these
we
are the
do.
big
Welcome
ones.
to the big one.
This is obviously a stand your ground podcast.
All right. Well, now we'll get to the big one. And so this, I think, is going to be pretty familiar to all you James Bond listeners. And it's going to span across the James Bond universe to all those who maybe have not seen this particular James Bond movie.
Okay. You work for your government in a capacity where you have access to secrets. Your lover gets kidnapped by a terrorist organization in order to blackmail you into helping them with a diabolical plan. If you refuse to help, they will kill your lover violently. Do you cooperate with terrorists in order to save your lover's life?
Oh, man. This is the Vesper Lind dilemma.
So for those of you who don't know, who have not seen the greatest movie ever made of all time, Casino Royale, starring Daniel Craig, this is from that. Matt, do you have anything more to say about?
So off
seen
yeah.
it, yeah.
And off
Seen
the
the
bat,
movie.
first what we do is off the bat, we just go around and we say yes or no. Yes, we cooperate. No, we don't. And then we'll discuss and then come back to our answers at the end.
So can I ask a question? Like, I should be thinking of this as I'm approached by this organization and you're kidnapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You answer first.
It's so tough.
I say hell yeah. I cooperate.
Me too.
I say no.
I have a question.
Is that because you know Craig isn't listening to this?
Oh, we
No,
just
no,
say-
no, because I say no because, well, we'll get into it, but off the bat, I say no.
What's your question?
Well, I feel like I'll ask the question once we get into it.
So what's your answer off
No.
the bat? No.
Wow.
Now, there's this whole thing about how nations will not negotiate with terrorists regardless. And I believe that's a good policy for states. But I don't think it's realistic for personal people.
What's the, sure, but what's the consequence of us doing this?
The terrorists win a huge windfall of money that they will then use to attack.
Okay, well, then you obviously
well-
can't cooperate.
Hang on. I'm backtracking now. a little
Whoa.
bit. That maybe they're not going to spend the money correctly. Like, essentially
Yeah,
what you're
you
saying
don't
is
know.
like, you're not like, I guess the moral quandary really is like, are they asking you to do anything that will directly cause harm? And the answer to that question is no. If you're just doing it to get them money, then you are not doing anything that will directly cause
Let's say
harm.
it's get them money for
What if they're getting
a
money?
plan that they
Well,
have.
they're not telling me that.
That does make it easier to justify to yourself. It's
To
not like
cooperate.
if you were literally standing there and in one cage was your boyfriend and in the other cage was 3,000 people, mothers, like husbands, children, and they were like, we're going to like blow up one of these cages. I think you would then be like, sorry, I've got to like save all these people. But it is easier to justify in your
Here's
own
what I
human
do.
nature.
I go into the cage with my boyfriend.
Yes, and you
then
go
I
down
say,
with the ship.
Get the other.
Well,
blow up the other
yeah.
cage.
Yeah.
Or blow up me, rather.
Blow us up and
yeah.
we'll go together.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I would do too. And honestly, that's kind of what, spoiler, but Vesper does end up dying in a cage.
She does.
She does end up dying in a cage.
And
but,
so does Knick Knack. I have some bad news.
Oh no! I thought he was on Fantasy Island. But here's the like what. I don't know what this money's for, right? They come to me, they're like,
Okay, well, that's being a little naive and being a little like closing your eyes to what's really there
I
because
agree.
this is
I
a terror.
tend to
This is a
do.
terrorist
going to use
organization.
it
how
for bad.
well organized are they?
Okay, they are so
It's
well
in the name.
organized. Yeah.
Terrorist organization.
Yeah, they're very well organized and they're very.
Tio.
It's Quantum. It's Spectre.
So it's Quantum, it's Spectre.
Yeah,
So
they're super capable.
Here's my real like. I'm like wondering if like, oh, maybe they came up short this year and they're not going to be able to have a
Oh,
holiday.
this is
party.
for Christmas bonuses.
Yeah, what if they're not going to be able to have a
come on.
holiday
Amanda,
party?
you better get mad at
I know
him
that's
because
a
she
loophole.
gets mad at me
yeah,
when
you
I
can't
find
loophole.
loopholes.
You have to assume that this is going to cause
Oh
death
no,
and
but
destruction.
I don't
It's
think
just
no.
money.
But this is the thing. He's now trying desperately, like anyone would, to justify this to himself when he knows deep down that this money is going
Right.
to fund the deaths of innocent
It's really
people.
a look into his psyche.
But it's going to fund. It's going to that maybe. Listen, they're already bad at handling money. I know.
How do you
this.
know that? You
Because
don't
they
know
need
that.
more money.
no.
Because they need more
No,
money. They're
that's
already bad at
Lashif's
handling
problem.
it.
But this is how
He did
terrorist
it.
organizations function. This is how they get their initial funding, is by doing this kind of stuff.
Well,
So,
in that movie, in the Casino Royale, what is that whole talk about 9/11 that they do? Does that have anything to do
They
with
short
it?
stocks
That's-
because they plan the attack.
That's his first way of. He's trying to get money to fund terrorist organizations.
Lashif is.
Actually, he's a banker
He's
for
an investor.
terrorists.
Yeah.
And so he creates that explosion on that plane so he can short sell his stocks beforehand and make a ton of money.
Lashif does.
Yes, on
and
that plane blowing up. Same thing he did on 9/11.
And does that have to do anything with what Vesper's dealing with?
Yeah, his playing scheme failed. Bond foiled it. So he has to hold this poker game. And so Vesper's been sent to manage Bond's money. But what she's really doing is working for Quantum.
Now-
See, this is, I mean, do you see that maybe they've done some bad things then and that they're going to do some bad things as well?
Yeah.
Well,
it's a given.
they've done some bad things. Sure. We all have.
They've done some great things,
They've
too.
done some wonderful things as well.
Like you said, the Christmas bonus.
The Christmas bonuses, the ice cream socials.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun. They're a great place to work for. They have open floor plans. No one has walls in their office.
Razor
nice.
scooters.
That's so
Wow.
nice.
Foosball tables.
There's ping pong. Lashif is really actually great at ping pong.
There's a podcasting booth
They
if
have
you
so
want to go
much
make
fun
your own
there, guys.
podcast there.
Zach Braff is starring in a TV show about it.
Multicultural family.
It's really great.
That would be funny if that Zach Braff show was him actually working for a terrorist organization.
He was Lashif. And he's like, fuck, I guess I'll start a podcast company.
Yeah.
Terrorist 2.0 startup.
So no, but it's here's the real dilemma here, right? So if Bond, not knowing, by the way, okay, they're trying to blow up that plane, which is a prototype plane. I'm talking about the plot of Casino Royale.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
They're
not
at the
really
Miami.
relevant to
They're
this.
now at the Miami airport, right? And they try to blow up this plane. So are we to understand that if Bond does not stop them and they blow up the plane, Lashif gets his money
Yes.
back, no poker game happens, and Vesper's fine.
Oh, so
Until the next time they need something.
So essentially what you're telling me is that Quantum has, or Lashif or Spectre, I don't know who is in charge of getting a hold of Vesper.
Quantum.
Right? So it's Quantum.
Yeah.
But Quantum knows what Lashif's doing, hence them killing Lashif at the end of the movie.
Spoiler
or the middle
alert.
of the movie.
Trigger warning.
But, well, I guess sort of my question is I'm just trying to wrap my head around
I know it's hard. And
This
she did too. She
conceptual-
tried to wrap her head around it too.
the conceptual idea of Lashif's backup plan, right? Oh no, I guess I'll organize a $10 million buy-in poker tournament.
it's his scrambling. He's going to be killed if he doesn't get money.
I know, but what a weird
Because he's remember he's a chess genius. He's a brilliant
Yeah,
poker
but
player.
why not I guess to get that much money that quickly.
Well, thank God he did, because it's a good movie.
Yeah, oh my
Right.
God. Then we got a love story for the ages. I would not. Okay,
So we're putting ourselves in Vesper's shoes.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing. So just real quick for maybe people who haven't seen Casino Royale, let's just set our characters real quick. So there's the gorgeous Vesper Lynn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lind? That's almost like my last name, Lund.
Yeah.
Wow, maybe I should change it.
Vesper
I already
Lund.
changed it to Gourley. I'll change it back to Lind. But yeah, so she's gorgeous. How old is she? 32 or something?
Oh,
Yeah,
girl.
probably 30.
She's, okay,
I think
she's
she might
30.
be 27.
Oh, no.
I think she might be 28 when she made the movie. I don't
28.
remember.
Wow.
Okay, oh
I
my
forget.
gosh.
I
She's
could be wrong.
28.
She looks great. Yeah, Eva.
She looks
Green.
amazing. Okay, and then and then her boyfriend is a sexy.
We never see him.
Yusef. We do see him in
This
Quantum.
sexy Persian.
He's a sexy Persian man, but they also are their boyfriend girlfriend. So we know they're in love. He gave her this nice necklace,
The Algerian
Love,
knot.
Yes.
love not.
the Algerian love knot. So should we do a little improv of getting the phone call?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, do you want to play Vesper? I'll play your best friend,
Okay,
Gina.
and you guys want to be the terrorist?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And then maybe one of you can also be your boyfriend.
Okay.
Okay. Vesper. Oh my God! And then he took me to this restaurant.
Gina, I have so much work to do.
Where's your accent?
Oh, where am I from?
England, and you kind of talk like this.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Oh, you're getting a phone call.
Bring, bring.
Hello.
Hello, this is Mr. White.
Put it on speaker. Put it on speaker.
Sorry, 1 second. Hello?
Am I on speaker?
Yes.
I hate the speakers.
Yes, what can I do for you? I'm here with my friend Gina. We're having brunch.
Hi, I'm Gina.
Hi,
And
Gina.
I went on a date last night, and he bought me cheese.
Did you two get those little Q pins that we send out to everyone so we can all just talk hands-free?
Yes.
Oh, is that
Can we
what
just
that?
put those
oh, is
on?
that
Yeah.
what that is? I'll
Okay,
put it
yeah,
on.
very good. All right, listen, I'm sitting here in Vienna or someplace, and boy, have I got a proposition for you gals.
Ooh.
Oh, well, I'd love to hear it.
Also, Yusef is on the line. Say hi, Yusef.
Hello, do what they tell you.
Oh my gosh, Yusef, that's your boyfriend.
Oh,
by the
Yusef.
way, how was the cheese?
Oh, it was so good, Yusef. Yusef, thank you so much for those tickets to
Yes,
you two.
of course.
You too?
Yes, we went
Yes,
to Yusef bought us
Bono's
tickets.
great.
Yusef, what are you doing there?
Oh, well, I've kind of run into a little bit of trouble, and I was hoping you might hear Mr. Whiteout.
Oh my god.
Are you
right.
spanking Yusef?
I'm spanking him. He's been a very naughty boy. Actually, he's been a very good boy. But here's the thing. We are a terrorist organization. And before you ask, yes, we are very organized. And if we get any money, definitely harm will come to many people.
Wait, no, hold on
Don't
a
listen to him.
minute.
They just want the Christmas pot.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, that is true as well.
Are you going to use the money wisely, or are you promising us right now that this is actually going to do harm to people?
Do harm. That is our whole
Oh
thing.
my
We bring
God.
down countries.
Oh my god.
What do you want from me? Why me?
I will say
Do you think that maybe you shouldn't have wasted all the money on the wireless Q headsets?
those are great. They're worth it. I will say, in the interest of continuity, I'm not into killing women or children. I'm Mr. White, and you'll find that figures in later. And maybe you've seen the
It might take
2015
two
film
or three
Spectre.
movies for this to happen, but
Yeah.
it will happen.
Okay, so
Okay,
listen.
this is get to the point, all right? She doesn't have all day. We have
Gina, stop making this about you.
Well, we've got waffles coming.
Sheena, did you have the cheese and then go to U2, or was it U2 and then the cheese?
We did both. We brought the cheese to the concert.
Oh,
Is
like a
Gina
picnic?
really necessary in this conversation?
Yes, I was there. Keep going. I'm keeping on track.
Why don't you kidnap the man Gina went to the U2 concert with instead?
Oh no, Rick. Oh, believe me, he wouldn't be doing anything but complain.
Gina also works for the Treasury.
Yeah, I work for the Treasury, all right. The Treasury of my mind.
Oh God.
Good
What
one,
does that
Gina.
even? What does that even mean? The
I don't
treasury of
know.
her mind. I'm gonna die. Why are you guys still talking
I'm
about
glad we
this?
kept
Gina
her
is
on
an
the phone.
emotional vampire.
Listen, Vesper Lind, Gourley. Here's the deal. We have your boyfriend,
It's true. I'm right here.
Yusef, and we have kidnapped him, and we are going to kill him violently unless you help us by infiltrating the government that you work for.
I've seen all their chairs. None of them have bottoms.
Oh my god.
That's right. We take rugby to ride to his plums.
Oh God.
Vesper, we
What do you
gotta
want me
talk
to
about
do?
this.
I'll do it.
You have-
What?
Wait, what?
I'm gonna do it.
You have no choice.
Well, she does
She
have
just
a
said
choice.
she's going to do it. She just said she's going to do it.
I'm going to go along with it and then see what happens.
Okay, here's what we want you to do. So, there's this guy, right? His name's Jim Bond or something like this.
Oh,
and he's-
Jim Bond. I know Jim Bond. He
You
owns a
do?
tire store downtown.
No, not. That's a different one.
Oh.
No.
Well, he makes a great couscous, and when
oh,
you
that
taste
could be
it.
him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He has a daughter named Rafaela.
No, not the same one. No. So he's going to go to this big poker game in Montenegro, right at the Casino Royale. You've got to go and represent the treasury.
But
and
be careful, because there's no other games happening. It's just the one game. It's a weird casino.
Yeah. Listen to James Bonding next week. That would make sense. So what you're going to do, you're going to help us out and kind of be our double agent?
Well, you came to the right woman because I'm a fantastic actress.
All right. Well,
And-
can I say something about that?
What?
Well, I don't think you're the greatest.
Well, yes, I can. I'm very witty, and I look great in a low-cut dress.
I'm not catty. I just tell it like it is.
What is your resume? Can you tell us some of your credits?
Well, I was in a production of Barefoot in the Park.
Oh no.
Oh, I love that movie.
It was community theater, and a kid played the guy.
Oh, but Redford and Fonda, I mean, mwah.
We had lots of sexual chemistry. And also, to be honest, I've been with Yusuf 5 years now, and he hasn't proposed.
What do you say to that, Yusef?
Well,
Uh-oh.
I got her a nice necklace.
I wanted a ring. You can imagine my surprise when on our anniversary it was this weird necklace. That's
It's an Algerian love knot. I've told you 1,000 times.
Well,
And to
I
be
think
honest,
it's
he's got a
hideous.
bunch of those to
No,
give
but
out. Oh,
Mr.
sorry.
White.
I have to plan my outfits around
I'm
the
going to die.
necklace.
Please help.
Okay, and we're out.
Wow.
I mean, I really think I would have to just go along with it because, what's so immediate is that they have the person you love.
yeah, but okay, but morally, do you think that's correct?
No, I don't, because I think one life for many lives is,
Yeah, and
not a
usually I
trade-off.
fall on the side of like the needs of the many over the needs of the few, but in this one, I couldn't do it.
It's the vagaries of it all. Like, for me,
It's the what?
the vagaries.
There's no vagaries. Harm is going to come to many, many people. That's a given.
It's obtuse though. It's
She's
like
pulling a Maria.
No, I don't think
no,
he
but
is actually.
but it's
because
like
he's-
it's who to whom. You know what I mean? Like it's like this terrorist
To
organization.
whom? You mean you value some lives over others?
For sure. What if this terrorist organization
Wow.
hates another terrorist organization?
No.
What if it's an
That's-
Al Qaeda?
But he's doing
What if it's an ISIS Al Qaeda situation, right?
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go get money for ISIS, and they're gonna then use the money to kill Al Qaeda. I'm like, well, all right.
I don't know. You're being like a traitor as well because you're throwing your country under the bus.
Right.
That's how they get you, though. That's how they get you. I mean, it's easy when you're not seeing the faces of the people who are going to be hurt to be willfully ignorant. And I think that's what a lot of people do. But also, I don't think it's really realistic to expect one person up against something that's so huge to, I don't think you can judge them morally for going along
I
with
agree.
it. I really don't.
I think you can. I think you can because it's a very selfish act to go, well, I love him and my life's on the line, so therefore everyone else has to suffer in
I don't think you
response
can
to
call that selfish.
Yeah,
I
it
think
goes beyond
Yeah,
selfishness.
I don't think you
It's
can call that selfish. I think if because you're not asking for this situation, it's being put on you and
Yeah.
someone's life is
And
at
I don't
stake.
think you'd be like, I don't think I'd be literally capable of saying, kill Amanda, do what you will with Amanda. Like I would do everything in my power to the exclusion of even thinking about the rest of the thing to
Right.
stop them.
I think that you're as a human, you wouldn't even let yourself, your defense mechanisms would jump up and you would do what Matt Mira is doing and just justify whatever you could to save the person's life. And that's human nature.
Okay, but that doesn't mean necessarily going along with it, right? What Vesper does in the movie is go along step by step until the end. She goes along with it until she falls in love again and then is like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't go along with it.
That's almost more selfish.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, yes, you get put in life. You can't, when something happens to you in life that puts you in a situation where you're in between a rock and a hard place, and you go, well, but I didn't do this, so I need to take the route that makes me more comfortable, and I get to come out kind of ahead. That is selfish.
Oh, but
to me.
she sacrifices herself for Bond.
No, at the very end. But I mean, going along with the plan, like, yeah, I'm all for going like, no, I'm not going to do it, and then doing everything in your power to like, stop them or
She
go
does,
to.
though, because she leaves her phone behind for Bond to find. It's a way for her to not betray her boyfriend and still help Bond in some way.
But that's at the but we're talking at the end of the movie.
Yeah, and we'll get to the part B of this,
Okay.
which is what happens afterwards.
But
So
yeah, I think that you're put in a position that's very difficult, and to agree with something that is morally wrong and hurts who knows how many people, to just go along with that in the moment and go, yes, I'll do it, is a morally wrong and selfish thing to do.
Yeah, I think
don't
by
think-
definition it is.
yes,
but
I don't think you
in
can call
reality,
it selfish. I could say you saying the more moral thing to do is to say no and sacrifice your partner and your love to potentially save many people. I don't think that you can call not doing that and saving your love selfish. I don't think you can.
But they'll just go down the line of, treasury worker after treasury worker. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? To
Yeah,
they'll
I mean
just
that's
Yeah, but
another
you
way to
can't-
justify it.
Yeah,
what if
that's
this was
another way to
Craig though? Like
justify it.
imagine Craig is in this.
No, I
situation.
know, but but the thing is, it's like I can put whoever I want in this situation. When you think about it, it's like it doesn't matter. What you're doing is giving a terrorist organization the ability to your action. I know you didn't choose it, but your action in saying I will do this for you is putting millions of lives in danger.
But I know it's
Yeah,
one thing
we
is,
understand
it's like
that.
what do you think you would do?
I would say what I might do is go, yes, I will go straight to the government or somebody, but it's not a loophole because it's you're saying what would I do, and that's what I'd do. I'd say yes, I'd go along with it, and then be a double agent.
I
with
might consider doing that too, but
Yeah.
that is a loophole for this question.
Right.
Because you
So-
think they have like a gun to his head and they're tracking you, so you can assume.
Yeah, let's assume if you do that, he'll be killed. What do you do, Craig?
Right. I can't, and I'm sure he would say the same thing too. I cannot go along with it. All I can do is say no. And then I know I'm going to get killed as well because I was brought into this.
True. And honestly, if you really think about it, you're all going to probably end up dead, even if you try to save him.
It's like, what does your life or your one boyfriend's life mean in a whole, millions of other lives?
But
it means
also,
nothing.
you could also say that they will probably find a way to do this anyway. So why can't
that's a bad way to think. That's a bad because then
I think you're being really judgmental about it. To be honest, I think that you're
mean?
being a little cold-hearted about it. Like,
How?
I understand saying one thing is more moral to do the right thing, but then I think you cannot judge and say that's a bad thing to do someone who would save their lover in that situation.
But what I'm saying is it is a bad thing to do because it is an action you are taking.
The terrorist organization are the bad ones. Someone else is just trying
Right.
to deal with it.
It's kind of like we're back to the baby in the village in a way.
Yeah.
That's how this whole thing started.
That's easier, though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. The baby in the village?
Yeah, because you're with the people. You're with them.
Yes.
Like, I think that's makes a big difference.
What I'm saying is I get that if I was looking at Craig, the love of my life, in front of me with a gun to his head, and they were going, if you don't... I'm looking at Craig. I'm also looking at myself. If he dies, I die because I'm there and they're telling me this thing. What, are they going to let me go? No, I know. Basically, I've been put in a position where you're shit out of luck. So what you can do then is be selfish and go, well, no. I want to live and I want him to live. And so I'll do whatever you want. That is a selfish act as opposed to going, just kill. I know it seems like brazen, but it's like,
well, I think presumably they've called you or something and say, we have your man, do what we want. So let's say you're not in threat.
But you don't think they'd kill? You don't think they'd kill her if she said no? If she said
well, you
no?
could go straight to your government and get protection,
right?
But your boyfriend's definitely
they have
going to
men
die
everywhere.
Right.
That's right.
I just don't think. I think it is wrong to put someone you love. All of these other people have people who love who love people.
But do you think you could really sit there to watch Craig with a gun to his head?
Well, I'm not watching him.
Well, or just know
that he's there.
Yeah, like you could actually that the minute you answer, you're actually sealed.
Right? No,
fate.
I'm not. It wouldn't be an easy decision at all.
Oh, I know, but you could do it. You think you could do it? I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I think
I mean, it's like in a way you just want to go for the gun, and if they pull the trigger and kill Dory, then I still go for the gun and kill myself.
Right, but you're not in the room.
But maybe if the person on the other end is like, it's okay, like you go ahead, like you don't do it. But with the other person, if you were that person, what would you want your partner to do? Let you die?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have an easier time dying
Yes.
as that person than making the call for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But the reveal on this also is that I guess when we get to part B, we can reveal.
Okay, sure. I mean, I see where you're coming from totally, Maria, and I do think that is. I just don't think you can call that selfish or wrong to make the other choice. I think that actually is incorrect.
You're just handling a wrong or a selfishness.
No,
You're
but
dealing
I
with
think
one.
what I think is incorrect is putting because what you're doing is you're putting yourself in this kind of victim position of like, well, this happened to me. I didn't ask for this, so I can make so I shouldn't have to make the decision. Basically, it's not.
You don't think you could consider that person a victim?
Well, no, but you have to deal with it. You can't just throw and go like, well, but that's not. You can't say, well, that's not fair. I want to live and I want him to live. You're shit out of luck. You got put in this position, and what you need to do now as a moral human being is do the morally right thing. And instead of sitting being there and being like, well, I didn't ask for this. Why should this happen to me? It doesn't matter. It happened. I just think there's this kind of wishy-washiness of
It's interesting because it's the same basic premise as that button that will change a train from killing one person to killing 5. Mm-hmm. It's exactly the same thing, except the changed element is the loved one, and I find that changes it completely.
But it's also you're not actually pulling a lever. You're literally just you're saying no. So it would be harder for me to pull a lever than it would to be like, I'm not going along with your plan. That's easier for me.
Oh, it's way more difficult for me. It would be so easy to pull that lever because it's literally the question of 5 blank slates versus 1 blank slate. You don't know any of them. But this is a world of difference because you have a life love and like years of investment, and someone that you can, like, I don't even think of it as selfishness. I think of saving the person that means the most to me in the world. Like, I think of it as
means the most to you in the world.
yeah, but yeah, I guess, yeah, but it's not selfish. It's like, selfishness almost doesn't even enter into it. It's on paper, it's selfish, but in real life, it's like, I can't, there's no option.
I think it's human nature.
I mean, really, what you have to do is say yes in order to buy yourself more time.
Well, that's what I would. If we were
There is
allowed
the chance that-
loopholes,
yeah,
then I would
fine.
do that for sure. But
Well,
we're
there is
not
the
allowed
chance-
loopholes on this show.
Except for when we get to part B of all of this. But what ends up happening, which would be kind of bad, is that if you're thinking of I'm the person who got kidnapped, well, you're going to now go work with some beautiful British secret agent, Jamie Bond.
And you,
Jamie,
and you are going to have been a mole who never loved me in the first
Yeah,
place.
so that's what ends up happening really in the movie. But we all know where we stand now on what we think we would do or what we think is right to do. But now part B of the question is what happens when you fall in love with the person you now have to work with?
right? Which makes me think. Well, okay, so it's a moral dilemma. If you're working around James Bond and you have to fall in love, right?
I know.
There's just no way around it when you're with Daniel Craig as James Bond.
Agreed.
There's just no way around it. There's just you're falling. Sorry, I don't know what to do.
I know.
He just puts a spell on you.
And he's also, at this point, demonstrated that he's been willing to die for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Wait,
It's
when
wonderful.
did he demonstrate that?
In the torturing thing, he's like, you can cut off my balls, you can do whatever. I'm not giving you the code. And it's more for Vesper than anything.
Disagree.
Well, back it up.
I think it's more for the mission.
Well, that
At
too,
that point.
but
he's not giving the code. There's no I don't think in his mind, I don't think there's any doubt that I don't think that he thinks that him giving the code is going to do anything to spare Vesper. So I think that in his mind, he's like, well, fuck it. You're going to kill her anyway. Why am I going to give you because he knows how these people operate. He knows, how.
But he does risk his
organization
life to save her when she's kidnapped.
when he thinks he can do it, sure.
Yeah.
But then I think when Bond is very adaptive to his situations.
Oh, yes.
Just as a character. So I think when he's in that situation and is getting tortured in a chair, and are you going to listen to the guy who's swinging this fucking hard ball at your testicles? Are you going to listen? Are you going to believe that if he gives the password, then she's fine? Are you going to believe that from him? No.
That's fair.
No.
That's fair.
Okay.
So then what happens? So Vesper now has to go kind of work with James Bond, but she's secretly being a mole to the terrorists. But she falls in love with James Bond, which I know that he's magic, so you can't help it.
Like literally magic. You can't help.
But that also is kind of crazy that she has this guy she's risking her life for, and
I
then
know.
meets some other guy, and it's just like, ooh.
But it
she
does happen
isn't.
over like weeks or
Yeah,
months.
she does. She is very cold to him at first. Although
Yes.
they have their little back and forth.
Oh, that's one of the best scenes in cinematic history.
in the
on
in
the train. Yes.
Oh, that's so
How do you
good.
like your lamb?
skewered.
Unsympathizes.
Well, it's also like, her
One sympathizes.
I think her tactic should switch completely. Once she falls for Bond, she should then sort of be like, well, I guess I really don't care what happens to the ex-boyfriend now.
Well, I think the minute I met James
I got
Bond,
this sweet hunk of man over here.
and which is kind of almost what she does, but not really. But the minute I met James Bond, I'd be like, oh, he's super capable. I'm just going to tell him what's happening.
Yeah, I don't. That's exactly what
Yeah,
I.
you
That's what I
should
would
do.
do.
That's
But
kind
she
of-
plays it through to the end to still save Yusef because she doesn't know he's a double agent, and she's leaving a clue
Yes,
for
but
Bond to help, but she's trying to keep him alive.
But why couldn't she just tell Bond? Like this is
Yeah,
what
she
I would
should've.
do. Now I get it. We can't do loopholes, but yes, in the reality of the situation, I would say yes, and then go behind and cut off the plan as it happened. And without being able to do that, then I have to say no right off the bat.
She does try to do that. She won't give him the money, and the reason is because she knows that this money's going to fund terrorists. It's not because of Bond's.
So she
ego.
thinks that this is all she needs to do is handle Bond's money. But what does that mean? Like, what is she doing for the organization?
for the organization, she's doing things like when he figures out Lashif's tell, he then informs them that Lashif has a tell and Bond knows what it is. Now,
So she tells him.
Yeah,
She tells
but
Lashif.
here's the reality of it all is it's a poker game, right? They have no control over how the cards are going to fall.
Yeah.
They have no control over the river. What they really should have done, and the easiest thing to do, and they do this at fucking Hollywood Park Casino and Commerce Casino, is the dealers can be in on this, right? So what they should have gone to, instead of going to a Treasury Department person who you don't know that's even going to be put on the case, like there's so many logic break-aparts in Casino Royale anyway. So like,
I don't know. That makes sense. There'd be some bureaucrat like actually has
Right.
to issue the money.
but it's like, okay, so how many of our agents are boyfriend or girlfriend with
No.
Treasury Department people? Okay, so let's figure out. Okay, it's going to be.
No, they probably were thinking, who can we have to be a mole? And they could have looked at dealers or whatever, and then they went, oh, this guy works with us, and he's got a girlfriend who's in the Treasury. Let's do that.
Yeah, but I think you go with the dealer because the dealer can shuffle. They can stack the deck. They can shuffle it however they want to shuffle it. If you're a skilled shuffler, if you're like
A shuffler. I'm a
But
skilled
these are
shuffler.
we're arguing semantics, like the
Yes.
parameters of this thing.
Okay, yes.
set.
So the parameters are set. But to what Amanda was saying earlier with Vesper just being able, like telling the tells to Quantum or to Lashif, but why not, like Maria's saying, why not the other side of it? Why not say to James, oh, by the way, I'm working... They have my boyfriend, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah.
Why does Vesper also not just tell Bond's hands,
What?
his poker hands, to Lashif?
like blink for
communicate,
ace
yeah.
and then...
Yeah.
But she's not just there for that. She's there to get fake kidnapped so that Bond will follow her.
So they chose her because they knew Bond would like her too, probably enough
Presumably.
to.
In
But
the
he shouldn't
book,
have a reputation at that point. Do you know what I mean? Like, Bond shouldn't have a reputation as a womanizing spy because he's a very new spy at this
well,
point.
he also becomes a womanizer because of this betrayal.
Right.
But I think...
She's hurting more. She's hurting more people than she thought she would.
I know.
But I don't think it's supposed to be that, like, oh, he'll save her because she's beautiful and they're in love. It's just his job, Like, if she gets kidnapped, he's going to try to save her.
Now, I have something at the end that's always bothered me so much, and I know it had to happen, but that she lets herself die at the end when she's locked in that cage, because now she feels so guilty. But I'm like, ugh.
Why did she do that?
I think it was guilt, but I feel the same way because he clearly doesn't want her to die. Like, he wants to either forgive her or save
Or
her.
figure out what the hell just happened.
Yeah.
Vesper, we need to talk.
In the book, she is there to lure Bond after they've been established on this case. And then when they escape, she sees that one-eyed man with the, Gettler that you were so beautifully dressed up as
you.
at my 40th birthday.
Thank you.
DJ Gettler. So Maria was the DJ.
I was a good DJ
You
too.
were.
And she's paranoid that Smersh is the name of the terrorist group in the books, is going to kill her. And so she kills herself with sleeping pills and leaves Bond a big confessional note. And her boyfriend was not a double agent in that.
So I think she knows that either way she's dead meat.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think she
but
knows
why
she'll
even
be
go
killed.
along with it if you know you're dead meat?
Well, because she probably didn't know.
You
at
hope. I
first,
think
yeah.
that's what they say at the end of Casino Royale too. I think Judi Dench says, "Well, I'm sure she hoped they would let her live."
Yeah, she does.
yeah.
And she says she left you your phone because she knew you were you. She knew you would follow
But
that.
Bond won't hear it. The bitch is dead.
Oh, it's so
sad.
And
My
when he tries to give
God.
her CPR.
No.
No.
If
oh
you
my
guys
God.
have not seen Casino Royale, you don't have to be a Bond fan. You've
Oh
gotta
my
see
God,
this.
you
So
guys.
good. It's Brie and I's favorite
I
movie.
can't get over it. The colors alone, just the colors of the
Her
movie
red
draw
dress.
you in. She does wear too much makeup during the casino scene.
Yeah, I she looks super sexy when she gets her makeover, but it's too much.
No, it's too much. She looks much better when it's just like
She gets her makeup.
when she
think
has
that-
just kind of like a muted lip.
Was that because it was 2006, or was that too much makeup for even then?
Even then, because there's multiple points in the movie where she looks just very nice.
Yeah.
She's
Yes,
very nice.
that was-
She's my favorite Bond girl, hands down.
Yeah, well, So what would you do if you fell in love with the girl, you two? What if, should we do a little role play where we're,
maybe we should do a 4-person scene on the train. Where we're having
I don't know what that is, but I'm in, whatever this is.
4-way sexy back and forth.
Well, you're Vesper, I'm Gina, and then these are the Bond twins.
Okay, perfect.
The Bond twins.
James and James.
Yeah, James and James.
Can I join you?
I was just having some lamb.
Oh, can I sit down too? What am I, chopped meat?
Weren't you just having some chopped meat?
I was actually just having some chopped liver. Have a seat.
Thanks so much. My name's Gina, and this is my pal Vesper.
Vesper Lind.
And I'm Jim Prime.
I'm Jim Subprime.
Oh, can I get you something to drink?
Oh, no, we're in a diner.
I'll have a glass of your finest burgundy.
Tell me, good one.
You what?
Tell me, good one. What did she just...
What you mean?
I'll have a vodka martini, shaken and stirred.
I'll have a vodka martini, 1 part Lillet, 1 part Gordon's gin, 1 part just a bit of pickle juice. I call it a Gina martini.
Oh, I'll have a Shirley Temple.
Wait, I'm sorry, Gina. What did show me good one mean?
I was talking to the waitress, and I said, "Tell me, good one."
Well, what does that mean?
Because she's good at her job.
Oh my God,
Gina, you've got a way.
We were just looking
about
for a wine recommendation, and then you ordered a Shirley Temple?
Temple. Everyone, leave me alone now.
I have no problem with what you're doing, Gina. You've got a sort of lust for life that I find, I don't know, just invigorating.
Wow, Vesper, take a look at this one. Now he's a keeper.
So do you boys like trains?
Well, we're on one, aren't we?
I find it gets us from here to there in a straight line.
That's right. What are you two doing on a train? We're going to be in a secret poker game where we will try to win.
James?
What?
Isn't that funny?
No, just for a family reunion.
We're heading to Montenegro.
Right.
Isn't that funny? We're doing the same.
That's right. We're here. We're the money girls.
Wait, what?
Oh.
You're the money girl. Sent by the
Where do you
treasury?
work?
Yeah, so we work at the British Treasury.
Oh, you're our contacts. We told we would be met by 2 baddie broads.
Well, you can call me Batty, but don't call me a broad.
Some like it hot.
What cabins are you in?
1 and 2.
Not anymore. Now you're in our cabin.
Cut
1 and 2.
to the girls' bathroom. Vesper.
Wow.
Now, when you got to look at Jim, you just forgot about...
Ricky.
No. What's his name?
Yusef. Cut to the girls' bathroom. We're in here too.
We like to go in here. We find it's cleaner.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And scene. That was sexual tension through the roof.
Wow.
Out the
Still,
caboose.
our version of Casino Royale is still better than the 1967 movie version. Of
Made more
I
Casino
haven't
sense.
Royale.
seen it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, I think... what do you guys think about falling in love with someone else? Do you think that that's a...
That I do think is wrong.
Yeah.
To
That.
fall in love with someone else is
how
wrong.
do you
Especially
mute
when they're-
those feelings?
I mean, it'd have to be. I don't see how you could, because I don't think
Have
you're
you never
capable to
gone-
fall in love with someone when the person you love, his life is on the line.
But
Like,
I
would you
don't-
even be open to that?
I don't.
Yes, if it were James Bond, because
But this is
I
extreme
don't.
circumstance.
Yeah, and I don't think. I think also they, they fell in love after in that shower scene when he licks her fingers.
Oh my
so I don't know
God,
how
you guys, if you haven't seen it, oh my
All right, cut to the
God.
shower. The 4 of us.
Now you're bleeding. You're bleeding from the hands.
Hold on. 8 more to go.
Guys,
then
I
there's the
really
toast.
actually need the shower. What are you all doing in here?
Jim, please.
I just need to really. I've got to
We're
get back
licking-
down, but I smell. I just went to the gym.
We're playing
Why are you all in the shower?
licking head, shoulders, fingers, toes, fingers, toes.
And cut. Take 5, everyone.
Good work.
Yeah, I think she's so desperate that I think you actually could be susceptible
Yes.
to fall in love.
Serious question for all of you, moral and or otherwise. Have you not in your lives ever been with someone and then fallen in love with someone else and then had to do the breakup and then
Yes.
Yes.
float
No,
over to
I've
the
never
next
been
person?
in love. Well, no, I haven't been in. I've never been in love.
This is why you're so easy to throw
no,
Craig
no.
aside.
I agree.
No, I've never been in love and then fell in love with someone. I mean,
Right.
I've liked someone or but
Yeah.
I've never, like, I can't imagine being with Craig and meeting someone and being like, oh my God, like, there's no
Right.
way.
But I don't think Vesper and this guy were that serious, to be honest.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe he just bought her that necklace she felt she owed him.
No one's ever bought me a necklace.
He doesn't have half the charm as Craig because you see him in Quantum of Solace.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is it is a way letdown. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, that's the
Well,
guy?
he's got that like Euro trash charm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you see
I
Quantum?
saw it, but not since it came out.
Maybe we
He-
should have you guys on for Quantum.
I'd
to
love
see.
to.
He looks like a guy who spends his time shopping at the Ferrari clothing
That's
store,
right.
but
Or the
doesn't
Porsche.
own a Ferrari.
Yes,
Oh, no.
you're right.
That's the biggest
that's
insult
never
I've
been a
ever
better
heard.
description.
I'm going to go pretty crazy right here. I'm going to say something that might be controversial.
Wow.
That
Okay.
you, Maria?
I don't know if Vesper Lind is capable of love. Because I wonder, she seems very damaged. She seems very like she has been wronged multiple times throughout her life. And I don't think she knows what she wants. And I don't know if she fully was in love with James or was fully in love with Yusef. I think she was maybe searching for something that she was never going to be able to find.
But it's probably not her fault because let's say she hasn't even had to decide whether she's in love until this man's life is in danger. She's going to feel feelings that most earthlings have never felt in their entire lives. Same thing with James when she's in this extreme circumstance and he's saving her life and he's almost killed. How do you know what love is in that situation?
Yeah, I don't know. She's definitely guarded. She's definitely guarded, and she let it down a little bit with James. But
Just a little, but I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if we'd like what we saw if she let her guard down. She might be a mess.
No. We do see her. Her guard's down.
I don't know. I can't imagine her laughing really hard.
She's laughing when they're in Venice and they're getting out of bed and she throws the pillow
Oh, yeah,
at
and that
him.
always seems odd to me. That
Yeah,
seems like
because
an
she's
alien.
about to then just go to the... Isn't
I know,
that
I
like
think
immediately
she's-
following that she leaves
She's acting.
to go to the bank?
Yeah,
well,
she
Yeah.
seems like
no,
an
but she
alien.
also thinks that she's going to the bank, but she hopes that it will all resolve itself.
Because she
Yeah.
wants him to follow her. She
Right.
leaves her phone. He is meant to follow her.
I like
She
when
should have just told him right then, hey, I'm going to the bank. I might be killed. Could you follow? Could you like walk like 2 steps behind me?
I know. I
It
like
is
that
a-
green dress though.
It's red.
Earlier, no, but then there's a
Oh.
green one earlier.
Oh, yeah, when they're in
right.
Switzerland, when they were at the
Convalescing.
Switzerland guy.
Oh, yeah.
Poor Mathis.
Well, so final thoughts, shall we?
I
It's
would,
a tough one.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
makes
so
the movie
tough.
so good.
Yes.
Because it's not open close. Like there's some ambiguity, and every time I've seen that movie so many times, and I still don't fully understand who's pulling what strings and it doesn't feel like a shortcoming with the movie. It just feels like a Phantom Menace.
Wow.
Wow, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I stick by my choice of I understand how theoretically it's not morally correct, but I think I would have to see how it all plays out and just go along with it and see how it all plays out.
I agree with you 100%, and that's why we would take good care of each other.
But
Yeah.
destroy the world.
Yeah, see you later, Matt and Maria. We're going to live forever in happiness.
We're all gonna end up dead.
Not
Matt,
me.
what
I
is
got
your
a
final
system.
thought?
I think I would say yes, and then I would try to out.
But that's a loophole, Amanda.
I know it's.
I
I don't know
Well,
if that's a
essentially I'm
loophole.
saying
If you're
yes, and I'm going
accepting,
along with it. I'm
you're
going along
accepting the
with it.
circumstances, but I would try too.
At the end
yeah.
of the day,
Yeah.
what happens is if I cannot find the loophole,
Then-
I'm going along with it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Same.
See, what
But
I'm
I'm
doing
looking
is
the
I'm
entire
going. I'm saying yes, going to the government, trying to figure it out. If that's not working, then I go. Then I go to them. I'm not going to do it.
Is this? Are you sure you're not being selfish? You just want out of your relationship, and this is an easy way out.
No. I'm just me and Craig really stick up for the little guy. Knick
For
knack.
knick-knack.
Full circle, knees and toes, knees and toes.
All right,
What
and
an interesting discussion.
Yeah.
we can't believe it. So this is a time-sensitive Dear Big Ones, and it's someone that really needs our help.
Okay. Dear Big Ones, my boyfriend and I are already planning to get married, and I knew it was only a matter of time until we got engaged because we had picked out the ring together and everything back in in January. We are going on a trip together to New Orleans in 2 weeks, mid-April, which is why there is kind of a deadline. And I had a feeling that he was planning to propose on the trip, which had been hinted at when my sister asked me when I was planning to get my nails done. However, it was just confirmed because my best friend who we are staying with on our visit sent me a text 2 days ago asking me what I would like for my proposal. My question is, how surprised should I act? How prepared should I be? I am a little bit of a control freak, so it is very tempting to tell my best friend exactly what my vision is, but is that taking away from from his surprise? Should I trust that he might have a nice plan and I should give him a chance to carry it out? But I don't know if his plan will be as good as the one I would plan. Also, I was planning on buying a new dress because during this trip I will be attending another friend's bridal shower, but should I buy more than just one dress in case, or can I wear the same dress? This is kind of a long Dear Big one, but even if it's not on the air, I would love to hear from you ladies. Okay, all right. And I'm not going to say who this is from, but thank you for writing in and thank you for listening.
Proposal Pam, we'll call her.
Proposal Pam. Okay, girl, it's the proposal. It's let go of any expectations. It's not going to be what you think. It's going to be special and great in its own right, and just have zero expectations, because in my experience and in every single woman I know who's gotten engaged, it's always it's real and it's life. It can be awkward. It's just not going to be perfect like you see in a movie. Just enjoy it for what it is, and it's going to be sweet because you guys love each other.
Yeah,
I agree. I think the whole beauty of a proposal should be like whatever he wants to. I feel like he's probably asking people because he knows that she has an idea. So he's asking the friend, and the friend is going back channel to her. Mm-hmm. If I were her, I would say, let me just let it happen to me. And then I bet he'd come up with some nice, even if it's very simple or straightforward.
Also,
but that's the beauty of a proposal. It should be honest, I think.
But now she's going to be like really on edge the whole trip.
Yeah.
And let's say it's not happening on this trip for some reason.
Well, no, I think because the friend said, "What would you?" But
what
I
if
guess
he gets
maybe
wind, and then he's like, "Well, I can't do it now." Maybe
Right.
he does it
What
at
if
the
he
airport on the way
listens
to
to this
the
podcast?
Maybe he does it at the airport on the way to the trip. That'd be a fun way to do it.
Yes, I had a friend who
on a
did
plane,
that.
people would clap. It'd be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But
you're in an airport.
he's not listening. But I think that for her, she should remember the following thing. The proposal is really the last ditch effort of the guy to have control over an event that will happen in your lives. You have the whole wedding to go exactly how you want the wedding to go, because that's really going to be your day. And this is a moment for the guy to sort of try to surprise you and get that little downbeat of like, yes, and then you guys move on with your day.
Yeah.
And then if you want to take pictures afterwards, change. Put the dress on you want to
I
take
totally
photographs.
agree. So when we got engaged, my Matt and I did, I had very little makeup on. We were just decorating the Christmas tree.
I had a ton of makeup on.
And it was just a very like sweet, intimate moment. And then we went out to dinner and I got dressed up and we had the waiter take a picture of us.
Right.
I just think,
Where'd you go to dinner?
at Parkway Grill in Pasadena.
I've never been.
It's really nice, yeah. So I just think like, you're a control freak. That's okay. But don't worry about how you're going to react. Just be authentic, and whatever happens is great. But just don't let your brain nitpick what your fiance does.
It's not about what you're going to be able to tell your friends or how you look or whatever. It really is a moment between you and the person you love, and it is a bridge between like now and a place where you're going to have your hands in every last bit of the planning. So it's like, stop having these expectations. You guys picked out the ring together. You already know that's going to be fine, and that's like a big like that's always been a fear of mine. Like if I saw that this ring was like an ostentatious type thing where I was like, this isn't me at all, that I'd be like so nervous that I was saying yes to someone who didn't really like know my style, even though that seems crazy. But that's already taken care of. Now let him just be himself and do what he wants to do, and just accept that, and I think you're fine.
The joy of this should be that you don't know what it is or have a conception of what it is. Like that, I think, without overstepping my bounds, like you probably shouldn't have a preconceived notion of what your engagement should be. That's the whole point of an engagement, you know?
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever... Well, I'm asking, I guess, you ladies... in your mind, I know often the trope of like, oh, I've thought of my wedding day forever since I was a little girl, so on and so forth. But is the proposal really something you have thought about?
Not really, no.
Yeah.
But once I met Matt and I knew we probably were going to get engaged, I was kind of just like would ponder what it would be like.
I know what I wouldn't want, but I know that Craig would know that I like at a sporting event or like something where it's like
He knows
kiss
you are a
cam.
straightforwght flash mob girl.
Oh yes, definitely.
If he is taking her to WrestleMania in New Orleans to propose to her at WrestleMania,
I'm assuming he's going to the
That's
Live
awesome.
and Let Die filming location.
Anytime we go to City Walk, I think today's the day.
But Matt, were you heading that because you think maybe women often think of their wedding day. Men sometimes think of their proposal,
Right.
what they do. I think that's true.
Yeah. I never thought of my wedding. I always thought of like what the proposal would be like, because I know
Because the
I
girl
think
never
we're
said
sort of
yes. You would always propose, and she'd say no, and you go, oh.
Back to the drawing board.
but I would say no in very funny ways in my
yes,
mind.
yes, that's nice.
So yeah, I think for that, I think she should absolutely just. Bit of advice. So yes, let him do what he's going to do. Don't worry too much about it. You can start worrying when you're planning your wedding day. But the beauty of the proposal is it's hopefully an intimate event that not many people are going to be a witness to. And then when you take photos later, put the dress on that you want to put on. Follow up. Please do not just post a photo of your hand with the ring on.
Oh, yes, yes.
Pet peeve.
Please.
And no
put,
one cares
just a
about it as
photo.
much as you do, honestly.
exactly.
And just remember that. But, like, honest to God, like, this is a moment between the two of you, and the more you think, like, oh, what dress, or, like, the pictures, and that's all fine if you want it to be with you, and, you know, but know that no one's going to care about those pictures as much as you think they
And
will.
it's not going to be perfect, and neither is your wedding, and neither is your marriage. And that's because it's
What?
real.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
And it's better that it's not perfect.
it'll be perfectly imperfect.
Yes, yeah.
And
Newsflash.
Amanda and Matt have a great DJ they can
Oh,
refer
God.
you
Yeah,
to.
DJ Getler.
But I would also say regarding your dress question, if it's not stressful for you to buy a dress or it's not too much of a strain on your budget, treat yourself. Go get another dress and feel super cute on your trip and have so much fun.
Yeah, but then don't be weird if she like is wearing heels and a dress and he's like wearing a button down or like a open shirt or whatever, a
Yeah, follow
t-shirt.
his lead.
Whoa.
No, let
That's
her do
cool.
whatever she wants and what
No, but then I don't want her to be like walking through cobblestone streets being like, oh, I can't believe you didn't tell me I shouldn't wear heels.
Like they're going on a hike.
yeah.
Oh yeah, well you should take your cue from
whatever
where
he's
you're
wearing.
going
That's
and
what I
what
was
you're
saying.
doing.
If he comes out in
Follow his lead.
sweatpants, then, you know.
But have fun in New Orleans.
You know what they always say? Dress for the proposal you don't want.
Yeah, but just let go of any expectations and you should be, I just worry for her because I understand the kind of person she is and I can relate. Don't let your brain spiral about what it wasn't. Just focus on the good. And this is the guy you're marrying. You're the planner in the relationship. So don't expect it to be exactly what you would do. But it's going to be
accept
perfect
it.
for what he, is able to do.
Also, if you don't want to buy another dress, I recommend Rent the Runway.
I love Rent the
Wow.
Runway. You're gonna
love a sponsorship.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
I
going to need it for
recommend
all your
Rent the
weddings.
Proposal, too, and
use
get
the
the
promo
proposal you
code
want.
Excellent for Rent the Runway.
Excellent.
Get yourself a couple bucks off, courtesy of Matt and Dory.
Oh, there you go. Excellent. And that's excellent as an egg.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, guys. Well, I think this has been such a
I
great
can't believe it. I mean,
episode.
yeah.
A fabulous crossover.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for doing this. And check out next week on James Bonding, where Maria and Amanda will return for Thunderball.
Oh, guys, my casino joke will finally make sense.
Yeah. And then I'll do my outro. Hey, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Where can people find, so for our listeners, I know there's a lot of James Bonding listeners right now, but for our listeners, where can people find James Bonding or, look up you guys or if they want to see what you guys are up to?
We have a social media account, a couple of them that are run by our head of social. We call her S. It's Emily Schmemily. At James Bonding Pod on Twitter, right? I think that's our... Oh, I know it's actually at Bond James Bonding.
Oh, that's fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
No,
that's-
because there wasn't enough space.
Bond.
remember?
Well, the point is,
Well, they
type
just
in
think-
James Bonding
yeah,
into your
they'll
search
find
field.
it.
James Bonding Pod.
Yeah, at James Bonding Pod
Yeah.
on Twitter. That'll get you to everything you need to get to. He is at Matt Gourley, Gourley, and I am Matt Mira at Matt Mira, Mira, and that's where we are.
That's right.
Well, great. Well, thank you guys so much. As always, you can find us on Gmail at the Big Ones Podcast at gmail.com and on Twitter at the Big Ones Pod. We've got a Patreon page that we'd love for you guys to subscribe to.
And for all the James Bonding listeners, please subscribe to the big ones. This is just a little taste. And
Yeah.
Yeah,
all the
please do.
episodes are
Help
fun. Yeah.
help these who are probably some of your favorite guests out, like by subscribing to their
Yeah.
show. It will help them immensely.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really will because we're not getting a lot of listeners and we want listeners.
Yeah, we love the listeners.
You
we
do
get,
all right.
well, we get a lot of great
We
listeners.
love our listeners.
They're being modest. They have outpaced Serial. No one's ever seen anything like this. They're getting 4 million downloads
Yeah.
a week.
And that's the breakfast product. They're getting more downloads than people that buy cereals.
No, we'd love more listeners, and you know, we're just happy to be in the podcast world.
Yes, thank you.
It's a very fun. It was a very fun premise. It was
Yeah.
a conversation.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought that was great, and you guys are great guests.
Thank you for having us
guys.
on.
Well, thanks for listening to
James
Big
Bonding!
Ones.
We'll
James
return.
Big Ones.
James
James Big Ones will return.
The Big James.